Music expresses that which cannot be put into words and that which cannot remain silent. He never went out without a book under his arm, and he often came back with two. Even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. Music expresses that which cannot be said and on which it is impossible to be silent. To put everything in balance is good, to put everything in harmony is better. To love another person is to see the face of God. It is nothing to die. It is frightful not to live. The greatest happiness of life is the conviction that we are loved, loved for ourselves, or rather, loved in spite of ourselves. Not being heard is no reason for silence. To love or have loved, that is enough. Ask nothing further. There is no other pearl to be found in the dark folds of life. Laughter is sunshine, it chases winter from the human face. To learn to read is to light a fire, every syllable that is spelled out is a spark. Those who do not weep, do not see. If I speak, I am condemned. If I stay silent, I am damned. People do not lack strength, they lack will. Reason is intelligence taking exercise. Imagination is intelligence with an erection. You ask me what forces me to speak? A strange thing, my conscience. You who suffer because you love, love still more. To die of love, is to live by it. He who opens a school door, closes a prison. Nothing makes a man so adventurous as an empty pocket. Life's great happiness is to be convinced we are loved. A man is not idle because he is absorbed in thought. There is visible labor and there is invisible labor. No army can withstand the strength of an idea whose time has come. There is nothing like a dream to create the future. He was fond of books, for they are cool and sure friends. An intelligent hell would be better than a stupid paradise. There is something more terrible than a hell of suffering, a hell of boredom. The future has several names. For the weak, it is impossible, for the faint-hearted, it is unknown, but for the valiant, it is ideal. Love is the foolishness of men, and the wisdom of God. To die for lack of love is horrible, the asphyxia of the soul. I have been loving you a little more every minute since this morning. Melancholy is the happiness of being sad. Let us study things that are no more. It is necessary to understand them, if only to avoid them. There is always more misery among the lower classes than there is humanity in the higher. Winter is on my head, but eternal spring is in my heart. It is not easy to keep silent when silence is a light. What a grand thing, to be loved. What a grander thing still, to love. A garden to walk in, an immensity to dream in. What more could he ask? A few flowers at his feet and above him the stars. What makes night within us may leave stars. And remember, the truth that once was spoken, to love another person is to see the face of God. The soul helps the body, and at certain moments raises it. It is the only bird that sustains its cage. Not seeing people permits us to imagine them with every perfection. There are no weeds, and no worthless men. There are only bad farmers. If you wish to understand what revolution is, call it progress, and if you wish to understand what progress is, call it tomorrow. Let us sacrifice one day to gain perhaps a whole life. Diamonds are to be found only in the darkness of the earth, and truth in the darkness of the mind. When you get an idea into your head, you find it in everything. What is said about men often has as much influence upon their lives, and especially upon their destinies, as what they do. Love is the only future God offers. For there are many great deeds done in the small struggles of life. The beautiful is as useful as the useful. He added after a moment's silence, perhaps more so. He did not study God, he was dazzled by him. Every bird that flies has the thread of the infinite in its claw. Common sense is in spite of, not the result of, education. Fashions have done more harm than revolutions. Faith is necessary to men, woe to him who believes in nothing. Nothing is more imminent than the impossible. What we must always foresee is the unforeseen. He loved books, books are cold but safe friends. Being good is easy, what is difficult is being just. And do you know Monsieur Marius? I believe I was a little in love with you. Each man should frame life so that at some future hour fact and his dreaming meet. God knows better than we do what we need. The realities of life do not allow themselves to be forgotten. To die is nothing, but it is terrible not to live. Nobody loves the light like the blind man. Life is a theater set in which there are but few practicable entrances. It is from books that wise people derive consolation in the troubles of life. Curiosity is gluttony, to see is to devour. Sleep comes more easily than it returns. A one-eyed man is much more incomplete than a blind man, for he knows what it is that's lacking. Life is the flower for which love is the honey. Sleep comes more easily than it returns. As with stomachs, we should pity minds that do not eat. Morality is truth in full bloom. Be happy without picking flaws. The quantity of civilization is measured by the quality of imagination. I was dying when you came. The paradise of the rich is made out of the hell of the poor. It was she. Whoever has loved knows all the radiant meaning contained in the three letters of this word she. Mothers are often fondest of the child which has caused them the greatest pain. Mothers are often fondest of the child which has caused them the greatest pain. A man without a woman is like a pistol without a trigger, it is the woman who makes the man go off. Here is one spectacle grander than the sea, that is the sky. There is one spectacle grander than the sky, that is the interior of the soul. The beautiful is as useful as the useful, he added after a moment's silence, perhaps more so. Be like the bird that, passing on her flight a while on boughs too slight, feels them give way beneath her, and yet sings, knowing that she hath wings.